Alright, this is Andrew Jolly with Jota Home Inspections. We're here today at 1719 Forbes in Layton doing a sewer scope. Today is January 20th, 2020, and we've got the camera pushed all the way out to what looks like the main line, the city connection. You can see in the larger line on the screen there's some running water from neighboring properties, and we're going to pull it back and record it and see what else we find. So I accessed the line through the roof vent today. So first things first, this is called the nose on. This is the connection point where it goes from your lateral line into the main city line. And that looks good. You're dropping into the pipe kind of from the top, which is good. You don't want to drop right into the bottom or else it makes it more likely for it to back up if there's an issue with the city line. This is looking like transite pipe, which is a cement asbestos pipe. That's not uncommon for this age. I think it was about 80 feet out, which is pretty average, a little shorter than most. Average line's about 100 feet, and if I go through the roof stack, a lot of times it's even closer to 120. And so it's not a very long line, which is kind of nice. If you ever have to do a replacement on this line, it's a little shorter, which can save a little bit of money. So I'm looking for any significant amounts of standing water. I mean, that little tiny bit on the screen, that's completely normal. That's not a concern. I'm looking for any standing water that basically, if my camera goes underwater, that would indicate improper grade. This is looking good. Another thing I'm looking for are any roots, especially through these joints. That's a joint right there on the screen, or a connection point. Even without any huge trees around, it's not uncommon to get some roots. You can even get them from grass. So it just transitioned right there to cast iron. Cast iron is what's going to be under your house or in the crawl space. Usually it transitions once it goes through the foundation. Cast iron is going to be kind of the weakest link here because it's going to get rust that builds up and it gets very rough, and then it can catch on solids and that can lead to a backup. It also will flake over time and get thinner and thinner, and eventually it will need to be replaced. Definitely not the smoothest that I've seen, but not the worst either. It can be difficult to really put a timeline on it because we're only seeing the outer edge of it, or the inner edge, I should say. There's no way for me to see on a camera how thick it is, or cast iron can be hard to inspect visually because you can even have cracks that are concealed. I think this house was built in the 70s, and so I mean I've seen houses that have had it replaced already, but I've definitely seen a lot more that have lasted much longer. So just to recap, you had good grade going all the way out. I didn't see any point or any part of the line that was holding water, which is great. I didn't see any roots. I didn't find any offsets for the joints. I had lips that could cause a backup. You do have cast iron, and so that's something that will eventually need to be replaced. But it was performing the way that it should today. So I'm going to end this recording now.